So Corey, if anybody wanted to do that you were talking about, you said they called the tax office you're talking about for the Tarrant Appraisal District?
If they want it, so if you have a homestead exemption already on your property, you can contact the Tarrant County Tax Office. And and if you have not defaulted on a payment agreement in 24 months, you are guaranteed a payment agreement by the state of Texas. If you have defaulted, you may still be able to get a payment agreement, but they may not give you as long of terms. There's not the same restrictions. If you don't have a homestead exemption on your property, but it is your homestead, it's the property that you reside in as your primary residence, then you should get a homestead exemption from the appraisal district. They make that determination, and then go seek the payment agreement if you haven't paid your taxes. If it happens after January or July 1st, you can call us and we'll work on a payment agreement with you, and we do a payment agreement. We do payment agreement for anybody that wants to call and make an attempt to make their payment. It's just that our terms are going to be a little different, and it's going to be based more on the situation that we're looking at, including years of delinquency and anticipated revenue, versus the tax office. If you're eligible, you get the agreement with no questions asked.
You said you can protest your property values online now?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to go down?
Yes, sir. Actually, I do it every year. It's become really easy. The appraisal district has been pushing this, and a lot of it, they're trying to take work off of their review boards that are having to review all these individual homestead or homeowners. So you can go online, it'll have your value, and you can put in a new value. And I'm sure it's some sort of algorithm. We don't represent the appraisal district, so I don't know exactly how it works. I'm sure it's some sort of algorithm. If you get within their window, they give it to you. If they don't, they reject it. And you can still go before an appraisal review board and make your challenge. But just talking with the appraisal district, because we do work with them, the number of online protests has increased, and pretty much everybody gets some relief. So it's definitely worth your try, especially if you're kind of close and you think, well, I'll just about a number. You might find you're in that range and get lucky. You may not. Generally, they've gotten a lot better about getting those home values close to where they should be. It kind of depends on the part of the county, though. If you've seen rapid growth in your area, your value's going to shock you when you get it. And so sometimes it's a little hard to defend those, but they're doing it.
That's good to hear, because it's a pain to go down there.
It really is.
To go before that board.
Just anecdotally, I did it years ago, and I thought, this is my business. Like, I'm in the collection business. I know about valuation, and I got walloped by it. And I thought, I'm just going to go online and do it. So that's why I do tax collection and not appraisal challenges.
It's a pretty easy process. I went twice, and I didn't have any problems at all. I mean, they listened to what I had to say. They heard what, and they said, we agree with you, and that was it. I mean, it was 20 minutes I was in and out.
Well, one thing they have changed is they've worked really hard to isolate the selection of homes they're using to set your value on very similar homes. There was a big issue in a lot of neighborhoods where you had a lot of redevelopment. All the redeveloped houses were being used to set the value of the undeveloped houses, not the non-redeveloped houses, right? The ones that hadn't been updated. Well, that's, a custom home that's 4,000 square feet has a different per square foot value than the original home from the 50s. So they've gotten a lot better at that.
That's what I run into. They compared my house to houses that was developed. Yeah, I had a newer house, but it wasn't.
But you don't have an all marble spa bath.
No.
Yeah, right, exactly. So
I mean, you don't? No.
I'm just guessing.
No.
But it's a dangerous thing to say, right?
Yeah.
It's got a lot easier, but I just really think it's important that everybody that owns property, if it's a business, make sure you're rendering your business personal property. There's a penalty for failure to do that. And if you have a home, make sure you're at least looking at the notice, even if you don't challenge it, even if you don't protest it. Make sure you look at it, it's right, because it's our obligation as the homeowners to make sure that information is right. And the Supreme Court said that, and we rely on that when we're defending our lawsuits on the behalf of our clients. And so it's a good thing on that side, but it raises the bar for what we have to do as citizens. So it's not part of our report.
Roll over every year. Let's say you can't afford them this year, and you get on a payment plan, and you make all your, whatever the minimum payment is that they require, and next year rolls around, and here's your new bill, and I still can't afford them. Let this keep. You'll get an automatic as long as you make your minimum payment each.
Well, so the rules require that you do stay current on your taxes that are incurred throughout the year.
You have to pay it all off in that one tax year?
I think that, no, you get 12 months. So if you went in right now, you have, but I think that the tax office in most cases would be willing to work with you. It's only going to go so far, because at some point they can only give you up to 36 months. And if you're already 12 months in, and you're coming back, 11 months in because you signed up now and you came back for a payment plan, the amount could easily be something you would default on in the next month if you had multiple years. The big challenge that we have is when people don't pay their taxes is because they have some financial limitation, right? It's not always just somebody bought a house they can't afford. Something else has happened. How do you get them in a situation where they can pay their taxes, but also maintain that home and every other element of it, right? Insurance, their mortgage, their utilities, and then the upcoming taxes. It's probably bad business sense to encourage people to try to figure out how to pay their taxes before it comes to us, but we think it's actually very good in the sense of how we represent our clients, that we're here to help the city, and doesn't help the city by hammering the citizens or the businesses. So we want to work with them. So a little bit of a foundation. I know a lot of you probably heard this, and if you talk to me at a conference, you probably hear me wax on this for hours, but I really want to get that out tonight, especially this time of year.
Great information.
Thank you. A couple
Will you
things.
email me that chart?
What's that?
Will you email me that chart?
I will, yeah. I was real proud of it. I mean, I created this. I thought it looked really great, and I forgot to send it to you. So, it's great. Next time I come, I'll do a review of it. I'll come back right after the turnover and do it, because I think we're doing about twice a year. I'll come back then, if you'd like, and I can present it at that point, and that calendar will make a lot of sense, because we have a lot of different calendars between your fiscal year, the tax collection cycle, and the calendar year. So, on to the tax report. I think you all have this in your packet. It's been a really good first 6 months. There's been two big things that have happened. One is that we've worked with all of our district judges to go through some old cases that had kind of been sitting out there for a number of reasons. Tax cases get dragged down by a lot of things, including when individuals pass away, and then all of a sudden they've got heirs that have to be dealt with. And then in the middle of the lawsuit, one of them passes away, and you've got another set of heirs you have to go find. And then we've got 10 courts that all have 10 processes. So we worked with all the courts to clean up a lot of cases. So in the last 6 months, your reports for the first 6 months of the collection cycle, July 1 through December 31st, we actually resolved 95 outstanding cases on behalf of the city of River Oaks. Now, some of these cases are new ones. We've probably filed maybe 90 cases in the last 3 or 4 years for the city. So a lot of these were older cases that we took over after we came in, that we were able to research and kind of dig into and wrap up. So we're really happy about that, because the judges are happy, which means they're on our back. Additionally, in November, right before Thanksgiving, and I shouldn't have my back there when I say this, we sent out a massive mailer to every mineral account holder in Tarrant County that had not paid a tax. Now, a lot of these owners had not gotten tax bills because the amounts were so small they weren't necessary. And so for some people, this might have been one of the first times they've received notice. It's not something you can do all the time, because if you do it all the time, it becomes white noise. But for a lot of people, they were able to resolve those. So we saw a huge resolution of mineral interest. We do this about every 6 months to a year, depending on the size, and we had a really good turnout. So if one of you received that, please don't throw anything at me from behind. Right now, we're showing total collections for the year, for the first 6 months, at $60,483. I'm sorry, $68,199. We've only had a really small refund this year so far, about $1,300. That's really good. We're seeing a lot more refunds come in where commercial properties, they file a protest, they pay their taxes so they don't become delinquent, and then they've already paid their taxes, then they get a lower value, their tax bill is decreased, and they get a refund. This is hitting a lot of entities in Tarrant County very hard, because it's coming in the first part of the year when tax collections are the lowest, as opposed to October through January. So just be aware of that. You haven't seen a lot this first 6 months of this collection cycle, which is a really good thing. And we always get notice of it, and Marvin gets notice of it. If the appraisal sends a notice that says this entity has filed an appraisal, you may want to reserve that money for next year. I don't think we've seen one of those in a year or two, right?
No, but we've had seen them when they were gonna have their property reappraised or something. We have had that.
It's a program that commercial owners use a lot to lower their value. But anyway, I just want to bring that to your attention. Additionally, we filed so far, I think we filed, I'll just not read this without it. So we filed 15 suits so far this year, and like I said, 95 suits have been resolved, but that's a lot of older suits. Those 15 suits are ones that we're probably not going to be resolving here in the next couple of months, because generally we file a suit. We send notice of the suit before even serving the individual to the individual. So we're trying to keep the cost down. The cost of service adds to the total cost that they owe. And we find a lot of people get on payment plans right then, and so we just hold on to the suit. And that's our goal.